matches. They've done an awful lot of workouts, been on the diet, of course, trying to keep their weight down, and they're all going to put it on the line here in the finals.
Jake Strayer will he'll have the red anklet, and Matt Fisk will be in the green. Same color schemes for both Forest Hills and Wyalusing. Wyalusing really, Walt Fisk, this has to be something that is a special experience. It's not unprecedented for him to walk one of his sons out here to the Parade of Champions. But here we go. How's this one going to play out, do you think, Jim, here at 103?
Well, look for these guys to go at each other right off the bat. Of course, they're very aggressive,
green, good luck,
especially from this standing neutral position. Of course, it'll be a little bit confusing because of their color schemes. Of course, Wyalusing with the green anklet, as you mentioned, predominantly, I guess, a green uniform with a yellow accent.
Right here.
Strayer from Forest Hills, predominantly a yellow uniform with a green accent.
Neutral.
And you can see right away these guys are going right at it.
Keep working.
Incidentally, Jake Strayer from Forest Hills has the opportunity to become his school's first state champion.
Great.
Forest Hills in District 6. Our referee you're going to hear is Daniel Langdon. This is his third PIAA championship. He's president of a manufacturing company, and he comes from us to us from District 3.
Neutral. Center and go.
And you can see right away, Strayer got in on a nice single leg, but Fisk muscled his way back out of it.
Go, guys, let's go.
Last year's state championships, Jake Strayer from Forest Hills qualified as a Southwestern Regional Champion.
Let's go, guys.
He lost in the quarterfinal 7-5 to Keith Pavlikovsky from Red Bank Valley, District 9. In the semifinals, yesterday evening, he beat Pavlikovsky 3-1 to make it into this championship at 103 pounds.
So far, nobody's really been able to get an advantage here. We're in the opening period at 103 pounds, still looking for our first score.
Neutral. No.
Got close, and they go out of bounds. Sometimes that's your best friend, right, Jim?
Well, Matt Fisk knew exactly where he was at, and he didn't make it too obvious, but he was headed for his good buddy, Mr. Out of Bounds.
They come to the end of the first period, and now see who wins. This is going to be Strayer's decision.
Let's do it, son. Let's go. Neutral.
Strayer chose neutral primarily because Fisk from the top position has a super cradle and wants to try to stay away from that.
Are there any secrets at this time of year, or is it all out of there right now?
Conceivably, you might not know of a special favorite move that your opponent has, but pretty much everybody knows everybody's toolbox at this point. Ted, we mentioned earlier that Matt Fisk from Wyalusing, only a 9th grader, came to the tournament with a record of 42-1. His only loss was in the Top Hat tournament. There's a stalling call on Fisk.
Keep working.
Now you can see he had a nice throw by, but he's trying to get Strayer down on the mat.
Got 2 points, so he takes the lead.
No, they're going to take it away. They're going to take it away. Jed, we saw there where the assistant referee comes in. Frequently, the assistant referee can see something that the head referee cannot. The assistant referee can really only advise. He can't overrule a call or anything, but he can advise the head referee during the match of something that he might have missed.
So we're still scoreless. There you see on your screen the time remaining in the second, about 40 seconds. And Fisk has been warned once for stalling. That may loom large.
Especially early on.
Stay on it. Come on, guys. Keep working. Keep working. Keep working.
Head coach Walt Fisk from Wyalusing High School.
Let's go. Let's go.
Back in 1976, came to the state championships as a Northeastern fourth-place finisher from that region. He lost in the finals to Denny Jacobs from Northern High School, District 3.
Sakara's getting close.
Keep working.
Strayer's got a 2-point takedown.
To end the period, and he'll go now with a 2-0 lead.
Down. Let's go. Let's go. Reset.
Well, Fisk goes down knowing he can at least try and get something done from the bottom position.
Right.
Get some quick points that way.
You got it. Red, red, red. Red. Red.
Now, Strayer has to at least make some effort to take him down to the matter. He's going to get warned for stalling.
They go out of bounds. It's amazing. You know, you see them stand on one leg. It doesn't look like much on the screen. I know everybody that's a wrestling fan, you better believe it takes a lot. It is unbelievable, the balance and just how nimble you better be on your feet in this sport.
Well, the guy holding your leg isn't helping you stay there, that's for sure.
It's the 1-point escape. That's what he was looking for out of the bottom position. He's right back in it, down 1.
Neutral, no takedown. Neutral.
You have to respect Strayer going right back in for a takedown immediately after Fisk got out.
Neutral. 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 Neutral.
Matt Fisk won the Beast of the East tournament at 103 pounds earlier this year. The fall over Rob Struring from Wilson, District 11. And Jed, incidentally, on a sad note, Floyd Shorty Hitchcock, a Wyalusing graduate, lost his battle with cancer.
Keep working, keep working.
They have a great profile of him in this year's PIAA wrestling program.
He was a 1974 NCAA champion at 177 pounds for Bloomsburg and won the Outstanding Wrestler of that Division I national tournament. Also a longtime Millersville University coach and a member of the PIAA Hall of Fame, inducted in 1985.
Well, both wrestlers, Strayer just put his anklet back on. They've been working the lower leg pretty much. We have 45 seconds. We'll always put the time to the right of your screen, and there's your score. Strayer holding this 2-1 lead. Here in the opening match of the Parade of Champions in AA at 103. Stalemate, and they go right back center stage.
Neither one of these wrestlers look very tired to me, Jed, so I think that the last 30 seconds, there's a stall warning against Fisk.
And that's the point.
That's the point that, that Strayer needed.
Neutral, 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 neutral.
He's going to get 2-point takedown.
Keep working.
Now he just has to hang on, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much going to put it out of reach with only 10 seconds left.
Jake Strayer wins the gold at 103. Getting 4 points in the final, or 3 points in the final 30 seconds. Well, Matt Fisk is going to have a big reputation to carry around for the next few years. Strayer himself is only a sophomore. So that's a rivalry.
I think we can assume that they are going to be seeing a lot of each other here at Hershey.
Well, Strayer never stopped trying and didn't really try and hang on until there was about 10 seconds left. And wins. We go to 112 pounds next. As soon as we get our first medal ceremony, we'll be taking you over and introducing you to all of the place winners. You know, we talk about just the two who survive. Sometimes the guys that come through that lonely world of consolations, they deserve an awful lot of credit, because especially those guys that battle back after losing an opening round match, boom, all of a sudden, how's your day going? You know, and they're stuck in there the rest of the weekend.
That is really, really difficult, not only physically to bounce back after losing in an opening round at this tournament, but mentally. You have to figure these guys are good enough that, you know, they come here, they expect to win, and you lose the first round, put it all back together in your head and sit yourself down and say, hey, you know, my goal is third place. That's asking an awful lot of a high school kid.
Andy Henry out of Erie Strong Vincent, District 10 senior, 29-0 on the season, 90-23. He'll be in the red anklet. Jeremy Hartford of Wilson area. There you see Andy Henry. And our referee is Randy Brungard. He's from District 6. He's an attorney. This is his third PIAA championship. We have him wired. You'll hear him throughout.
Jed, we talked about Jeremy Hartram from Wilson area. Came to the tournament with a record of 38-1. His only loss was back in January 12th at the Easton Phillipsburg duels against St. Ed's Ohio wrestler Mark Moose. He lost 6-5 up at 119. And Moose just won the Ohio State title back in February at 119 pounds in Ohio.
Yeah, St. Ed's and Blair Academy, those are two of the top three teams in the country, along with Easton. Well, you got to think for Hartram, this is like the big house here. Is no big deal. He's been here back-to-back years for team championships, and as you mentioned, he's been here all 4 years. It's hard to believe he has not won gold yet.
Right, he's been in some big tournaments this year as well. He is a Beast of the East champion at 112 pounds and outstanding wrestler. He beat the two-time AAA champ Jermaine Jones from Westchester Henderson District 1 4-1 in the finals of that tournament.
Well, Hartram right now with a 2-0 lead as you look high atop the center mat here. Hartram's almost hard to impossible to dislodge, right, when he's in the top position?
Well, from the top position, you can see him. He's got a bar arm. He's got a half. That's an ugly ride, Jeff. He puts so much pressure on his opponent's head that when they turn to face him to try to get away, he can get enough pressure to force him down and turn him to get the near fall.
Hartram won against Ben Lorson of Berlin Brothers Valley 9-0 in the semifinals last night. He's won 11-3 and 6-2, so he really hasn't even been threatened here this weekend.
It really hasn't been close. On the other hand, Andy Henry struggled a bit in his semifinal match.
Although Josh Anderson's got quite a reputation.
And Ridgeway has an excellent program. He ended up beating Anderson in the semifinal 6-1 in overtime, but it was tied 1-1 in that overtime period, and he ended up getting a takedown to his back and just held on there for the back points as well.
You're looking at exclusive live coverage of the Parade of Champions AA, the title tilt here at 112 pounds.
Red defers to green. Green, what do you want, son? Green takes down.
Well, Hartram wants to come out of the bottom position. This will be a different view for Andy Henry. He hasn't been on top yet in this match, because Hartram has just carried play from the top position throughout that opening 2-minute session here. How do these guys hold 103 and 112 pounds this deep into the season? And it's just amazing to me because of the body composition, how they can stay at this weight.
Discipline.
Has to be.
That's the only word, discipline.
All right, Red, get on.
Go to this tournament, you see guys running stairs. It's just unbelievable. Always that weight on their mind. They go out of bounds.
I got one.
Hartram's got an escape. Andy Henry from Strong Vincent High School.
Not yet, not yet.
2-point takedown, and immediately you see Hartram going for back points.
Easy.
Forcing the action, trying to turn his opponent over.
Don't shut down on me, son. Don't shut down on me.
You see Hartram in with a cross-body ride.
Stalemate. Let's go.
Referee calls it a stalemate.
Well, Randy Brungard, the official, he gets right in there. We've talked over the years, you really like an official who tells you exactly what's going on and what he's looking for.
I really think that's important. It's a guessing game if he doesn't tell you exactly what's on his mind. If he thinks you're stalling, he's going to let you know. That's great.
Hartram with a commanding 5-1 lead right now. The 1-point escape here for Henry.
And you can see Henry trying a rather dangerous role against a good wrestler like Jeremy Hartram. Almost got himself in some deep trouble.
Great thing about wrestling, though, you can be dominated, and much like Hartram is dominating this, Henry is one move away, and he can just pull this baby out. But the way Hartram looks right now, it's going to be a tough task as we're coming out here on the end of the second period.
Well, the thing about Hartram is he doesn't make very many mistakes. He's really hard to score on.
Yep.
Even just a little bit of a lead for him is a big lead because he doesn't make mistakes.
7-1. Red set, green get on.
So we go to the third. Jeremy Hartram trying to break a drought. He came in with a record of 147-24. He's 41-1 on the year. Henry 29-0.
Hartram has that cradle on. He's going to kick out of legs.
Come off the leg, son. Come off the leg.
Strong Vincent High School's last state champion was back in 1986.
Stalling green.
Gary Zern won at 98 pounds. There's a stall warning against Hartram. The referee thought he was just kind of hanging on the top position, not going for back points.
You watch Hartram work from the top position. He's just dominant from there. That's how he got things started in this opening period.
1 minute.
Andy Henry from Strong Vincent High School came to the tournament as a Northwestern Regional champion. One of the nice things that Hartram did there was picked his opponent up, backed up a little teeny bit, and then put him down inbounds. And that's the key.
We'll have scenarios where if your feet are inbound and the whole body is out in the, like the chocolate area right there, that you're still ruled in. So like football, if you can keep your feet in and the rest of your body happens to be out, doesn't matter.
That's right. As I understand the rules, it's referred to as supporting points.
Again, there's Hartram using that to his advantage, like, I don't like it over here. So they'll go back to their feet, neutral, 9-3. Hartram, that amount of time from a state championship, 15 seconds and counting here in the third and final period in the championship match at 112. Nothing flashy about this performance, Jim. Just solid, workmanlike, grind it out, get it done type performance.
Jeremy Hartram never in trouble. Really in command from start to finish of the match. 9-3 at 112 pounds.
And the first of many visits about to commence for us here at the Hershey Park Arena. to the medal stand at 103 pounds. Jake Strayer beating Matt Fisk. Strayer coming out of Forest Hills, District 6, and winning convincingly 5-1 to finish his season at 40-1 with a gold medal. And they get all the cameramen from around the state. That's a well-covered event from a media standpoint. Every district in the state, every newspaper in Pennsylvania is here. The wire services. Of course, we're here with Pennsylvania's Championship Network, the Pennsylvania Cable Network. And let's go and listen in. Here it is at 103.
The 103-pound place winner. In 8th place from Loyalsock, Brandon Tedesco. 7th from South Williamsport, Buzz Godfrey. 6th from Palisades, Paul Schleifer. 5th place from Red Bank Valley, Keith Pawlowski. 4th place from Hanover, Gary Mayfield. 3rd from Juniata Valley, Brock Scott. 2nd place from Wyalusing, Matt Fisk. And our 103-pound champion, winner by decision score 5-1 from Forest Hills, Jake Strayer.
Outstanding tournament for Strayer, Jim, and he looked good at 103. And again, the Fisk-Strayer rivalry is only a sophomore, Fisk a freshman, to be continued.
Definitely. And Jed, we should mention in 3rd place, Brock Scott from Juniata Valley lost his first round preliminary match and won 5 straight in the consolations to place 3rd.
Well, we were talking about the lonely world of consolations, and it's as much mental as it is physical in this sport, especially there, because it is heartbreaking. Boom, all of a sudden your weekend blows up on Thursday.
Imagine the expectations that a high school athlete has come into an event like this, and you get bounced down into the consolation brackets right off the bat.
Tony Curto, Wilson area, he'll be in the red anklet, and Joe McCara out of Burrell, 33-6 on the year. District 7, they're both juniors.
They've switched us, Jed. Joe McCara from Burrell is in the red anklet, and Curto is in the green anklet.
Ted, don't move. Go ahead, Top.
A referee is Jeff Cook, business owner. 4th PIAA championship comes from the District 1 area, Philadelphia, suburbs. Seems to be a pretty good tempo to this early here at 119.
Well, in particular, Joe McCara is going to put the pedal to the metal. The question will be, will he have enough gas at the end of the 3rd period to hang on if it's close? He comes at his opponents and just wears them down.
No toe, no toe, watch toe.
Takes the 2-0 lead. Hadn't been easy for McCara. He won by fall over Eric McAndrew of Mount Carmel in his opening round match, then survives Lee Comstock of Benton 4-3, and then Jeff Santo last night of the semifinals, Santo of Penn Argyl, and he wins 5-4. So he's been kind of living on the edge.
But he's been here before, Jed. Back in 2000 championships, he was the Southwestern Regional Champion down at 103 pounds. He lost in the finals to Jared Herzog from Northern Lehigh, District 11, 4-3. And during that tournament, he beat Jeremy Hartram from Wilson in the semifinals.
Okay, young man, you're set. Don't move. Go ahead, sir.
Jed, we talked just how good Wilson Area High School's team is. So far this year, Wilson is rated 12th in the country amongst high school teams. They've won the state dual meet championships this year, as well as last year.
Gentlemen, work hard to stay in.
They have 4 finalists in this tournament. As we mentioned, they could set a new record in team points in the team championship race.
One thing we've talked about over the years, all the great teams, the practice and the guys they go against in practice. You know, it has a lot to do with staying sharp throughout the course of a year.
Well, definitely, to be good, you have to wrestle good wrestlers, and The fact that you have a couple of guys near each other in weight on the same team, that just makes everybody better because they wrestle each other regularly.
Work in.
Tough competition makes you tougher.
Well, McCara is out to the 5-2 lead as we count down the final 10 seconds here of the opening period. We're in the championship at 119 pounds. And want to remind you, it's state history in the making. The 2000 PIAA Wrestling Championships televised across the Commonwealth on the state leader for Scholastic Sports Programming, PCN, the Pennsylvania Cable Network. Jed Donahue, Jim Davis, privileged to bring you live coverage of the 2002 PIAA State Wrestling Championships, live here in Chocolatetown, USA at the Hershey Park Arena. 1-point escape given for Curto.
You could see Curto taking big advantage of a little bit of nonchalance by Joe McCara. I'm not quite sure what McCara was thinking, kind of standing around there for a second or two, not ready to wrestle, and Curto seized the moment to shoot in quickly and tie the score at 5-5. Curto working a tilt. He's been very successful with this.
1-1.
He's going to have a hard time holding McCara still to get the back point.
Out of bounds.
And Jed, that tilt is an interesting move. It's really hard to pin your opponent, but it is a super move to rack up some near fall points.
Set. Don't move. Go ahead, sir.
Because you really don't have a long way to go to put somebody on their back and start ringing it up. Minute 35 left here in the second. 5-5, make it 6-5 as you get a 1-point escape there for McCara.
Don't stop.
McCara, 101 victories and 15 defeats in his career. Comes in 33-6 overall.
In McCara's semifinal match against Jeff Santo from Penn Argyll District 11, McCara had to fight off 2 front headlocks in the final seconds of the final period to come out ahead 5-4 in that match and move into this final.
Go!
Well,
close.
You could hear a little bit of grumbling from the crowd, but McCara only had 1 foot. He definitely didn't have control and certainly didn't have a takedown.
Break easy. Stalemate. No change. Back to your feet, gentlemen.
Now, to a lot of guys, like if you're in Curto's position, do you try and lift your feet so it makes it look like a dangerous position?
Well, you bet. You bet. You do one of two things. You grab the other opponent's legs and hold on tight and try to get a stalemate, or you lift your legs like that and try to get the referee to stop it as a potentially dangerous situation. Either one is to your benefit.
Work in, work in.
It's interesting, Jed, when you see good, like Division I college wrestlers, they all do that.
6-5 with Curto on the lead, or check that, McCara on the lead by 1. There's your time remaining in the second period, 10 seconds. I think we'll see the crowd in this for the first time in the afternoon session here with the Parade of Champions. This is anybody's game here heading into the final period. This is pretty good action. Both of these guys are really offensive here, trying to get some kind of tempo.
Yeah, they really are, Jed, and they've got 2 minutes to settle this score.
Let's keep it up.
Curto in the top position. Look for him to go for his tilt.
Okay, sir. Set. Don't move. Go ahead, sir.
This is Jeffrey Cook.
No change. To the bottom.
And you can see Joe McCara immediately, as soon as he goes out of bounds and the action stops, he looks right at his coach for instructions.
Okay, set, sir. Don't move. Go ahead, sir.
Curto, he's in the top position on your screen. McCara on the bottom. We're watching third period action, and McCara trying to get an escape. But Curto has that locked in pretty good.
Curto from the top position's got a very deep half Nelson. Not doing anything, and he's going to get warned for stalling. Curto has a super half Nelson, but McCara is strong enough. He's not getting himself in bad position. He's doing a good job at keeping Curto parallel with him, so he can't get perpendicular to drive him over onto his back.
That takes some enormous strength to just come out of that and get out of bounds and start anew with 103. Left to go here in the championship at 119.
And Curto's going to go right back to it with that half Nelson. You see him grabbing the far wrist and trying to drive it over. The problem, he's got two problems. One is that they're going to call it for potentially dangerous because he's driving basically straight over McCara's back. The other problem is he's going to get too high and McCara's going to come back out.
And Dave Crowell, the head coach for...
We're on the clock, gentlemen. Remember, we're in 3 time. No problem.
Tony Curto, and then over there you see Chris Como and the training staff. I'll tell you, the training staff here is just really good. Here it is again, Jim.
Now you can see just how hard he's trying to force that. Curto from the top position, he's got that far wrist, and he's driving it straight over McCara's head.
I understand, though. I understand, but we can't. So you're set?
As you look at Joe McCara, 6-5. McCara clings to a 1-point lead, and Curto trying to get something going to steal the gold here.
Burrell High School's only state champion was back in 1997 at 145 pounds. It was Joel Delarier.
But again, there was that thing we were talking about, trying to keep your feet in, but McCara's just too strong. He just goes at will right on the end lines.
Well, let's also not forget that McCara has been warned for stalling. He's going to get warned again, and that's going to be a point.
7-6, 10 seconds to go, and they go neutral.
And Curto's going to go after him. You have to expect a wrestler from Wilson area is not going to settle and sit still for the last couple of seconds of this match. And Curto trying to do a front head roll.
McCara hangs on and wins it 7-6. It wasn't easy. That was a good match. Both evenly matched, both very aggressive, although McCara knew that he had the lead and used his strength to a great advantage, I think, from the bottom position. Used the end lines well, got out of bounds when necessary, and bailed himself out of trouble.
Well, Curto from the top position put all his money in that half Nelson. He almost had McCara turned a couple of times, but McCara is just too strong and a little too savvy to get turned.
For Burrell, the drought is over. They've got another state champion. There he is. What a feeling. Let's go to the medal stand right now, join Dwayne Beach, and let's meet our place winners. At 112 pounds, Jeremy Hartram stands tallest, winning 9-3 in the Parade of Champions at 112 against Andy Henry. Here's Dwayne.
6 from Berlin Brothers Valley, Ben Lorson. 5th place from Lakeview, Tim Gadsby. 4th from Ridgeway, Josh Anderson. 3rd place from Northern Bedford, Brandon Reese. 2nd from Strong Vincent, Andy Henry. And our 112-pound champion, winner by decision, score 9-3 from a Wilson area, Jeremy Hartram.
Well, there's a young man who's come so close in years gone by, and he finally wins it 9-3, and he looked really impressive the entire tournament.
He has had a super tournament. He's really never been in trouble. Total domination of his opponents. 9-3 score in the finals at 112 pounds for Jeremy Hartran.
We go to 125. Teammate Cory Garrett. He'll be in the red anklet. Roars in here. There's his record of 42-4. And Dana Gingrich out of DeLone Catholic District 3 comes in at 40-1.
Big hands, gentlemen.
Gingrich won last night 9-8 over Zach Selden of Wyalusing.
It's Wyalusing. It's a misprint.
Wyalusing, I'm sorry.
And Gingrich scored a 3-point near fall late in the third period to win that match 9-8. He was losing 9-6 at the time.
Gingrich to the left. He's in the yellow singlet. More television audience there so you can distinguish. DeLone, really a great wrestling program in their own right in District 3.
2 red.
And there's that takedown. Garris, he's got that big upper body and he can just pile drive.
Cory Garrett from Wilson placed third at the Beast of the East tournament, beating Max Meltzer from Blair Academy 8-6 in overtime. Meltzer from Blair Academy just won the Prep School Nationals at 130 pounds just a couple of weeks ago.
Blair Academy and Cleveland St. Ed's, Easton, those are the top 3. That tells you everything you need to know about this guy if he can beat somebody like that.
Blair Academy in particular is exceptionally good and has been for the last couple of years.
Garris out with a 4-1 lead as we count out the final 30 seconds of this opening period here in the championship at 125.
Dana Gingrich from DeLone qualified as a Southeastern Regional runner-up. Cory Garrett was a Southeastern Regional champion. And in the championships last week, Garrett beat Gingrich 5-2. Jed, you mentioned the program that DeLone Catholic has.
Your choice.
Back in 1983 and 84, they had a 2-time champion at Unlimited, Tony Coons.
Green wants bottom.
You're listening to Nathan Williams, our referee, a high school teacher coming out of District 4.
Set. Red.
He's been officiating 13 years. This is his second PIAA championship.
Jed, we should mention that one of the things that the PIAA insists on is that referees that referee these finals matches are not from the districts that are represented by either wrestler in the final.
They also have the automatic timing. The whistle is tied to the clock, so when the whistle sounds, the clock automatically stops. Pennsylvania, I think North Carolina is another state that is using it, but they are on the forefront there. They used it for the PIAA basketball tournament last year, and this is the second PIAA wrestling championship. It's been used all weekend. No clock controversy then if it's tied into the whistle. Amazing. That's right. What wireless technology means. And it is very much a part of these 2002 championships. Well, Garris 4-2, but I'll tell you, Gingrich just kind of hanging around. Notice how he hangs onto that foot, trying to avoid the, having him steal a moment there. Saying you're not going anywhere. Is it me or the referees really demanding action? They really are going to a stalemate situation. They just seem to have a shorter leash than usual.
Well, it may just be the finals, but they've really been that way all along. And as a fan, I kind of like that because it keeps things moving. There's another 2-point takedown for Garris,
giving him the 6-2 lead with 40 seconds left here in the second period. Our WITF production crew providing the sounds and also these great pictures.
1, 2, 3.
And there's that tilt.
4,
And you can see
He's up.
Gingrich's back is exposed on the far side.
It's an ugly spot. 15 seconds a lifetime for Gingrich right now. And he got turned over.
Same.
You hear the referee saying same, meaning that he has the same pinning combination on, so he's not going to award the points yet.
Period sounds. 2 points. So it's 8-2 as we make the turn, I believe, into the third period. Gingrich. Garris is a machine. I'm sorry. He is just really on his deal today.
Gingrich came to the tournament with a record of 37-1, and that one loss is to Cory Garrett. At last year's state championships, Gingrich qualified as a Southeastern 5th place finisher. Lost in the preliminary round to Mark Pierre-Matty from Middleburg, District 4, and did not place in last year's championships at Hershey.
Keep working, gentlemen. Keep working.
We hear Nathan Williams talking. Well, for Dana Gingrich, it's time to make a move. Down 8-2 with about 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining here in the third period.
Well, he's getting frustrated. He has to be frustrated with Garris. Here he's in fairly deep, and against the lesser wrestler, he'd probably have 2-point takedown by now, but Garris has done such a good job of tying him up. After you do that a couple of times, it just wears on you mentally.
Garris just doesn't leave you any opening at all. He has a way of really sliding his body around when it looks like he, as you say, might actually go over.
And you can see Gingrich is in deep again, and Garris, with his feet up in the air, one of the things that Gingrich does not do is run out of gas, and that really helped him in his semifinal match against Zach Sheldon from Wyalusing.
You mentioned that match. He wins it 9-8. That was in the semifinals last night. Final seconds here at 125 pounds, and Cory Garrett of Wilson is going to win handily. Never really threatened. And you're right, for Gingrich, if it's anybody else, he's scoring points. But Garris just doesn't have, there's just no light under the door.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, 119 pounds as we're going to go to the medal ceremony in Dwayne Beach here momentarily. And Joe McCara won over Tony Curto 7-6. McCara out of Burl, winning the state championship. Garris just won here 8-2 at 125. Let's go to Dwayne Beach.
Ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to the award stand. The 119-pound police winners. In 8th place from Central Columbia, Brian Troop. 7th from North Star, Sal Ascari. 6th from Juniata, Tyler Gilson. 5th from Reynolds, Travis Battles. 4th place from Penargil, Jeff Santo. 3rd place from Brandywine Heights, Matt Guerreri. 2nd from Wilson area, Tony Curto. And our 119-pound champion, winner by decision score 7-6, from Burl, Joe McCara.
What a great moment for Joe McCara. He and Curto, both juniors. I think there's more there down the road. Outstanding champion. He really, that was a great match at 7-6. Both really brought the action, didn't really sit around. And now we go to 130. And as you think, one of the main events on today's card here at 130, Isaiah Britton, a sophomore from Loyalsock District 4 against Jeremy Walsh, Ole Valley District 3, a senior, and they're both undefeated.
And Jed, this is the only AA finals where we have two undefeated wrestlers head-to-head.
Britton in the maroon singlet with a black and white piping there. He is in the red anklet. And Walsh is in the green with the all-white. To the right of your screen right there. These guys both have looked most impressive, haven't they, Jim, throughout the entire tournament? They've been on a collision course since Thursday morning.
Yeah, they really have. And Jeremy Walsh is so aggressive, and Jed, he is a pinner. I'll tell you, he goes for back points at every opportunity, and he doesn't look all that muscular, but he has just super strength, and he's not afraid to use it.
Walsh, of course, a returning champ. Stalemate. George Belch, owner of a construction business, District 7, Pittsburgh area, second PIAA champion. This is 17th year officiating. All of the officials are at the top of their game. They are among the best here in Pennsylvania as they work the PIAA state championships.
Isaiah Britton from Loyalsock in his semifinal match had to get by Bobby Fry, another wrestler from Wilson.
Yeah, and Fry had cruised through the opening two. He had won by fall in each of his two matches. Ran into Britton, and then that was the end of him, losing 8-2. But Britton just driving through.
And you see a very dangerous step over by Walsh from Ole Valley. Nice inside leg trip right on the edge of the mat.
That's a great example, too, how the second official, in this case, Owen Ellis Brown, they will look after the welfare of the wrestler when they're right toward the end of the mat or edge of the mat.
Well, you can see on the television screen, our table is right up to the mat, and there's an awful lot of fans, and
we haven't anybody fly through the table yet.
Yeah.
Day is young.
Over the years, we've had some close calls, though.
Day is young. Seems to be a quiet hush in the crowd, kind of waiting for something to develop here. These two look evenly matched, though, Jim. I mean, it's almost like looking into a mirror of one another.
You see that really nice duck under that Britton used to get by. He's going to get 2 points. Referee, now they're going to talk about it. Yep, 2 points.
Owen Ellis Brown, I think, was pretty convinced that there he is.
Well, I thought he had it too. He got under Walsh's arm, back behind him, and got him down to the mat. He put his hand down, and that's all he needed to have 2 points.
Quick 1 point escape for Walsh makes it 2-1. I think he got there. They haven't put it up on the board yet. I saw him.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here we go. Jeremy Walsh is going to. He is awesome from this position, Jed.
So Britton is in all kinds of trouble and somehow got turned around. Goodness. How does he do that?
Well,
he was in huge trouble.
He hits a move, and Britton is lucky that this match isn't over.
3 back points, so he rings it up for a 5-point move and takes the 5-2 lead. And Jeremy Walsh of Ole Valley District 3, a senior, against really one of the up-and-coming stars, a sophomore, Isaiah Britton, at a Loyalsock. To go undefeated in this state then a lot of guys, you know, what do you do? Go to the Beast of the East, or you run into Cleveland St. Ed's or Blair Academy. It's not like you're not running into some heavy company outside of your own border.
Well, Loyalsock has a tremendous program, Jed, and just a couple of years ago, a two-time state champion Chris Flieger, now wrestling at Purdue University, as a redshirt freshman, is ranked 3rd in the country in Division I.
All right, we got the blood clock here. If we can put a camera on the clock, we'll explain exactly what that means to everybody at home. Used to be pretty much unlimited, right, Jim? And then we did a match, I think, 5 or 6 years ago, where if they didn't put a time limit on it, you know,
the word
we were
unlimited
get
took
paid
on
by
a new
the hour,
meaning.
yeah.
A little bit out
Go
of
ahead and
that.
explain what we're watching here.
Well, you can see the number 2 is flashing, and that is Britain, who is wearing the red anklet. That's his score, and it's his blood clock, and the 4:25, 4:24 counting off. Here we go with Jeremy Walsh. You can see just how close it was for Britain, on his back and pretty much flat on his back, doing enough kicking, trying to keep that other shoulder up off, and somehow gets out of it. And look at the tension on his jaw from Jeremy Walsh.
That's a pretty large undertow that he overcame, and there's the time remaining in the second period. The match number is the one on the top, and I know for huge wrestling fans, they go, yeah, we know all that, but some don't.
Well, the blood clock, each wrestler gets 5 minutes, and they can stop the clock for blood injury any number of times, but not for more than a total of 5 minutes.
Well, Walsh is really dominant as the second period horn sounds, and we'll go to the third with a dominant 6-2 lead. But Britain has shown just by getting out of that and a near pin that he's a pretty dangerous guy here, even though he's down 4 coming up. Work out of the top position.
Well, we saw him get a nice duck under takedown on Jeremy Walsh, and Jed, there's probably just a handful of guys, if anybody, that's taken Jeremy Walsh down this year.
Are you saying there's different views in the building that you haven't seen all year when you get to a state championship level? The answer is absolutely.
And here we go with that same move again.
Boy, he really just pushes through, doesn't he?
And you can see he uses his legs, but at the same time he's bending his opponent Britain around to bring his head to his knee to get a little bit better leverage. That time he only got a 2-point takedown. No back points.
But 2 points when you're is now a 9-2 lead. And it's getting it pretty significant for Britain, who's now in deep trouble again, Jim.
And Walsh again with a real nice step over, and that's going to be it.
The fall comes back timing it. 4:51 is what I have. Is that right? The fall?
Now they've changed the clock, so I don't know.
There's 1:09 left. Here it is again.
You can see Walsh. See his legs kicking over. He's just trying to get parallel with him. He's going to hook both legs around. That keeps Britain's weight all on his shoulders.
Boy, you're right.
Referee right on top, and that's it.
He just hits it so quick. We're going to join Dwayne Beach and, you know, Cory Garrett, an 8-2 winner in the championship at 125 pounds. You know, we only talk about the, you know, we watched the first 2 here in the Parade of Champions, but I'm so glad this year that we're able to visit with all of the place winners and the guys that go through the lonely world of consolations. Let's check in with Dwayne Beach right now and meet everybody who got something done at 125 pounds. Starting on Thursday at 8 a.m. is when their weekend began here in Hershey.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 125-pound medal winners on the award stand. In 8th place from Brandywine Heights, Dave Moyer. 7th from North Star, Chuck Wiltrout. 6th place from Wyalusing, Zach Sheldon. 5th from Reynolds, Justin Hollaball. 4th place from Chartiers, Houston, Danny Kosharski. 3rd place from Bloomsburg, Steve Ansaravage. 2nd place from DeLone Catholic, Dana Gingerich. And our 125-pound champion, winner by decision score 8-2 from Wilson area, Cory Garrett.
As we go to 135 pounds, and there's a great champion, Cory Garrett, and a senior at Wilson area. Kyle Clary out of Pine Grove. As you look at him, he'll be in the red anklet. Senior coming in 33-4.
Kyle Clary's in the green anklet.
Okay, well, they switch them around on us. They said
the green anklet and the green hair, Jed.
Jarrett Musselman plays Burke Kimmel. Not unfamiliar with this venue at 37-0. This is really one of the really good wrestlers in our state.
Yeah, back in the 2000 championships, he came as the Southwestern Regional Champion at 119 pounds. He lost his finals match to two-time state champion Chris Flieger from Loyalsock, 8-0.
Just mentioned third in the country, Flieger at Purdue. Our referee is Wick Renry. This is PIAA District 10. First PIAA championship, 17th year officiating an industrial contractor. There goes Musselman right there. Vintage.
You can see Musselman very aggressive from the standing position. Musselman is a basic bread and butter wrestler. Single legs, double legs. Cleary is a little bit more freewheeling, and from the top position, he has a super cradle.
Go.
What about a tall guy like Clary is? Is that a difficult situation?
Well, I think it is. In particular, his length lends itself to his move, the cradle.
Okay,
he's got good reach and can get around his opponents much more easily.
Now, I don't know where he's hiding 135, because he's about 6 feet, 6 feet 1. I mean, here's Musselman.
Musselman with a bar arm on from the top position.
You're down, Green. Get set, please.
At last year's championships, Pine Grove had a state champion at this weight, Jacob Warner, who also had a great cradle.
Go.
There you look at Kyle Clary. Senior from Pine Grove area, District 11. The Lehigh Valley this year was just deep, deep, deep. Boulder, and we'll talk about that tonight, too, when we have our AAA Parade of Champion coverage. Be on with you about 7:30 tonight here on PCN. Musselman with a 2-0 lead as the first period melting away here.
Let's work here. Let's work here.
He is dominant from the top position, Jim. I mean, there's just no way of he's got some thump from there, and there's just no moving him off.
Well, Musselman has enough strength to get a bar arm on, and Cleary, I think, is a little concerned about doing anything as far as, turning in or trying to get an escape with that bar arm on, because if he turns the wrong way, Musselman's strong enough that he's going to flatten him.
Chooses neutral.
He just wheel you over. Boom, boom, boom. Done.
And there you can see just for a second just how tall Cleary is. He's much taller than Musselman is.
He's one of the tallest guys I've seen down here in these kind of weights.
Yeah, for 135 pounds.
I don't know where you hide it. There he is on that single leg.
Here we go.
Jared Musselman's brother, Chris, was a state runner-up back in 1998 at 112 pounds.
No whacking.
How'd you like to be the Musselman's mother there with those two thumping each other around in the living room?
Take it outside.
Wow. Jarrett Musselman out of Burke Kimmel. Great program there in District 6. Great tradition at Burke Kimmel.
Work in, please. Work in. Work in.
You know, it's interesting. Clary has not done a whole lot, but I mean, he's very much in this thing.
Oh, it's
Jim.
only,
I mean, he's only down 2-0, and
right.
he's been, you know, has not carried play at all. And how many of those do you see, not only over the weekend, but over the years, where guys just really haven't done a whole lot, and they put you to sleep, and then boom, in the third period, they're there stealing it at the end.
Right. And that's what it's all about. I mean, it's all a game plan. And don't think that these coaches don't have a game plan when they come into a situation like that.
Or they'll visualize, hey, if you're only down 2-0 heading into the third period, then it's anybody's match, and you can take one out. Musselman at 37-0 this year, a career record of 140 victories and 9 defeats. And Musselman, that gives you an idea just how quick. He almost got scored on, and toward the end of the second period, he just reverses and boom, it's 4-0 on the takedown.
Well, Clary tried to use his length to his advantage to try to get away from Musselman, but Musselman is just too strong, and his grip strength is good enough that Clary wasn't going anywhere.
The other thing that's really stunning by being down here, Jim, is just how quick these guys are, and just how they're, you know, they can react to adversity or trouble.
Well, it's hard to appreciate when you're up in the upper stands, but down here on the mat, right next to these guys, they really are very, very quick. Kyle Clary from Pine Grove, a two-time District 11 champion. He did not go to the 2001 championships last year.
Red's down. No change. You didn't get set, please.
You're listening in to Rick Wenry, District 10. He's working his first PIAA championship. We have all of our referees and officials mic'd here, Matt side. Watching third period action here in the championship at 135 pounds.
Clears from the top position, putting a cross body right in. From that position, he can work a power half and work for his cradle.
Real quick, Red, real quick. Get set, please. That's 2, Red. That's 2.
You hear the referee telling Jarrett Musselman it's a second warning.
Go, Green.
For a start caution. Another start caution is a point for Clary.
Clary now with a little more bounce and more urgency, knowing he's down 4-0 here with 1:30 to go in the match here. At 135 pounds, they swing out of bounds.
Now, Musselman really has to be careful because he has those 2 start cautions.
Go, Green. The clerk here.
And here comes the cradle.
Dangerous situation, so they'll go back to neutral. 1:12 remains.
At last year's state championships, Musselman qualified as a Southwestern Regional Champion at 130 pounds. And there's a quick reversal.
Wow. He just swung out of there and came out of nowhere, and now has a commanding 6-0 lead. Down to a minute to go, and he can just take it from the top position and take this to a gold medal. He has just been sensational from that top position. Looking at Jarrett Musselman, Burke Kimmel, District 6.
Musselman finished the year last year with a record of 34-3 and finished 4th in the state at 130 pounds. Musselman gets a stall warning.
Go, Red.
Musselman hanging on. Give the point, though. They go out of bounds to Clary. But Jarrett Musselman on his way to the gold medal.
Obviously, it's 2 start cautions on Kyle Clary.
That'll do it. Impressive performance from Musselman.
And dominating from the top position.
Totally. Once he hit that last move and got that comfortable lead, there was just no stopping him. And no denying.
And you can see it on the replay. That's a simple switch right there. You learn that in Wrestling 101.
He just explodes off his feet, though, especially when he's in trouble, and he really saved himself with his footwork because at one point, Clary looked like he had a 2-point takedown, and then boom, all of a sudden, Musselman's on top. Here's Wayne Beach.
130-pound medal winners on the award stand. In 8th place from Bloomsburg, Brett Smith. 7th from Cambria Heights, Joe Stridematter. 6th place from Forest Hills, Art Moss. 5th from Palisade, Liam Dorenzes. 4th from Wilson area, Bobby Fry. 3rd from Burgettstown, Louis Vigliotti. 2nd place from Lowesock, Isaiah Britton. And our 130-pound champion, winner by fall, time in the fall 4:51, from Ole Valley, winning his 2nd state title, Jeremy Walsh.
He was impressive, Jim, as he wins at 130 pounds and ends a brilliant career at Ole Valley and goes out as back-to-back state champion. Not a bad resume to take to the next level.
And he is Ole Valley's only state champion, 2-time state champion, Jeremy Walsh.
There's Scott Rendos, 36-2. There's an interesting sidebar to this, which we'll get to. And Rendos will be in the red anklet. And Chad Seachak, coached by his dad, Dan Seachak, out of Richland. District 6 senior. Rendos out of District 9. Now, his brother, Aaron Rendos, is an assistant coach at Richland and is deferred. He is not going to be involved in this because his brother is on the opposite end. Rendos in the blue and white singlet, and Seachak out of Richland in the red and black to the right of your screen.
Seachak from Richland is a 2-time District 6 champion. Scott Rendos from Brockway.
Let's go.
Seachak came in as the #1 seed out of the Southwest bracket. Won his semifinal. He's won 2 of his matches by fall. Knocked off Matt Edwards of North Schuylkill at 4:44 in last night's semifinal to get here.
Matt Edwards took 2nd in the state last year at 135 pounds.
Today's championship telecast being made possible by Pennsylvania cable television companies, which carry PCN on their channel lineup. If you enjoy watching coverage of high school sports, be sure to thank your local cable company for supporting Pennsylvania's championship network and giving these high school athletes a much-deserved statewide audience. Live from the Hershey Park Arena, you're watching championship action here in the Parade of Champions in AA at 140 pounds. Scott Rendos of Brockway against Chad Seachak of Richland.
Scott Rendos came to the state championships at Hershey last year as a Northwestern regional champion at 135 pounds. Lost his preliminary match to Steve Troop from Mifflinburg, District 4, 8-6. Did not place at that tournament. Steve Troop from Mifflinburg is one of our finalists at the next weight, 145 this year.
Jack takes the 2-1 lead here at the end of one. Our referee for this match is Robert Coletta, District 11 up in the Lehigh Valley, maintenance supervisor. This is his second PIAA championship, 36th year officiating. Mr. Coletta has seen a lot, I'm sure, over 36 years. Rendos trying to get in on some kind of single leg.
Rendos is trying to get a takedown. He's going to get 2 points out of it.
What do you have, the leg too far in?
Yeah, they stopped it potentially dangerous. They're afraid of Cechak's leg or knee being bent in the wrong direction.
Another thing you'll hear us talk about, most of these guys are dinged up by now, a whole season, so nobody's really fresh.
Well, I got to tell you, Jed, and you really can't appreciate it until you get right up close to these guys. There was a guy that I saw in the consolation bracketing who was so banged up that I don't see how he could see out of one of his eyes. I mean, it was that black and blue and swollen.
We see guys like all kinds of different, wrap around shoulders, elbows, knees, feet. Something's hurting. And with that angle there, it doesn't look like much, but when you're here mat side, Jim, just the physical exertion, it's just unbelievable how much energy it takes. 54 seconds and counting left. Stop the potentially dangerous situation with Cechak's arm up, twisted up around behind his back. The referee is always concerned about dangerous situations, as we've seen over the years, Jim, and you saw a great example of that right there, just putting his hand in there to make sure that things were okay. Dan Cechak, we can hear him right where we are. It's 30 seconds. Stay on the mat. I think he's ready to put a singlet on and go out there and join him. He's ready to get on it.
Green now falling underneath. First warning, green.
Well, now, no doubt about where
that doesn't need any explanation. There we go.
We'll go to the final period. It's a pick'em deal here. It's 2-1.
Rendos is going to be in the bottom position.
And Cechak might be burning off some injury time here.
Injury time, green.
Now, this is a non-blood related injury time.
So this is a different clock.
Yeah.
And we'll put this up. The blood clock, which we showed you earlier, you got 5 minutes. And that's cumulative time. As you have a look at Chad Cechak right there, got his knee wrenched. And I'm not indicating that that's the case here, but sometimes the strategy is to freshen up a little bit with this, if you can get there.
It's interesting how many guys get hurt late in the third period, Jed. And you know what? That's all part of the game. It really is. And you can see right there, he almost got out. Now, he's not really allowed to kick his opponent in the face, but he can push off like he was trying to do, but it just didn't work out.
There, I think he just got turned the wrong way. He's up.
Back to the injury clock with a non-blood related injury. The wrestler's allowed to stop the match once.
I got to thank Bob Schellenberg personally. He's phonetically spelled out all the tough names that we're going to run into today. He is an ace PA man, the voice of the PIAA, along with Dwayne Peach here. He just does a fabulous job. They've been at it since 8 o'clock Thursday morning, going match by match, number by number. And there we go. Here comes Rendos making a comeback while on the lead, 3-2.
Cechak got a little bit too high, put in a half Nelson, and Rendos basically came right back out out the back door. Got a 2-point reversal.
Seachak has that clamped in. He has something interesting started.
Well, it's really kind of a method to hope for a stalemate situation. Unless he can improve his position like that and get out of it.
And take a 1-point lead.
Get a 2-point reversal with a 1-point lead.
4-3, Seachak by 1. Coming up on a minute left here in the championship at 140 pounds. Seachak with that blue and white singlet.
And remember, Seachak has been warned for stalling. Richland High School's last state champ was Eric Bowser back in 1986 at 112 pounds.
Well, like auto racing, nothing like a good restart. Here with about 46 seconds left. 4-3 with Seachak leading by 1. That reversal gave him the lead about 25, 30 seconds ago, and here we go.
You see a real dangerous step over. By Rendos, but Seachak did a nice job getting out of it. Kind of a shoulder roll, and Seachak rolls right along with him.
There's your time remaining. We're in the 3rd period. Championship at 140, hanging in the balance.
Seachak has got to be careful. He's going to get warned for stalling. He's not doing anything from the top position except hanging on.
And it's working very well, thank you, for a gold medal at 140. That was tough. Had a little bit of injury time because of the knee before the start of the 3rd period, and that one could have gone either way, and Seachak survives 4-3. Good match, and again, his ability to hold from the top position gets him a gold medal at 140. He just held on. We look at it here.
You can see Rendos from the bottom position trying to get away. Seachak riding with a half Nelson. Right up with the hand control, trying to get away. Seachak drops right on down.
And our 135-pound medal winner. 8th place from Seneca, Keith Schumack.